Okay, so Sue, tell me a little bit about the Developing Thinking Skills module.
Okay, well this is a module that's available to anybody taking a master's or doctoral programme in the School of Education, Communication and Language Sciences. It's a module that we hope will be relevant to teachers, whichever sector they're working in, whether it's preschool, primary, secondary or higher education. But we also hope it will be of interest to any other student who is interested in developing their own thinking and learning during their postgraduate programme. The module covers a range of different research and practical approaches to developing thinking skills, based on the idea that effective thinking leads to effective learning. So the idea of the module is that we're looking at approaches that can help individuals and groups to learn well individually and together. Lots of the approaches are very collaborative. Lots of the models are based on the idea of constructivist theory, in other words, that knowledge is created with other people rather than in individual learning. So the content covers both cognitive and philosophical approaches, based on the work of Matthew Lipman, Philosophy for Children, for example, the work of Philip Adey and Michael Shea on accelerating learning in the classroom, the work of our own thinking skills researchers into thinking through primary education, thinking through subject-based approaches. So we have a series of very practical books for teachers called Thinking Through Geography, Thinking Through Religious Education, Thinking Through Modern Foreign Language, and so on. So there's a lot of expertise within the group and in the Research Centre for Learning and Teaching in different methodologies and different theoretical approaches to improving thinking.
Great. And could you tell me what sort of approaches you use in teaching the course and delivering the course?
Okay. Well, there are very few lectures. The course is very participatory. It's taught over 10 weeks with 2 hours a week of face-to-face contact. There's usually a group of around 20 to 25 students. We don't like to have too large a group because we think to be interactive, small groups work best. And in between the taught sessions, we hope students will read, practice some of the strategies, work together in small groups, and think about how the theories and the applications might work in their own context, because that's really important. Whether they are culturally appropriate, what might work well with the groups with whom they're working, what might work well in their own professional roles, whether participants are teachers, work in HR, work in the media, or whatever career.
Yeah. And could you tell me a bit about the people who teach on the course?
Okay. Well, the course is taught by members of the University Research Centre for Learning and Teaching. So there's a range of expertise there in professional learning, in coaching, in emotional intelligence, and in these various thinking skills approaches. So my own work started with cognitive approaches. I trained with Reuven Feuerstein in Israel to deliver an approach that was developed for underachieving young people initially, although that approach is now used worldwide in management training, in the primary and secondary sectors, in nurse training, and so on. So there are other people who are more interested in subject-based approaches. As I mentioned, we've got publications on thinking through geography, thinking through science education, and so on. So there are a range of opinions and a range of expertise in learning through subject areas or through disciplinary curriculum, and through more intensive approaches that would supplement the normal curriculum in schools, and also in approaches that might sit well within some sort of professional development for other teachers, as a lot of our participants work themselves in universities or in the adult sector.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, if I was coming on the MEd course, why might I want to do the Developing Thinking Skills module?
Well, we think it's a really good core module to underpin learning about learning, and learning how to become metacognitive. So as an individual, learning what you need to learn well, and as a teacher or as a professional, learning how to support the most effective learning and how to support other people to see themselves as successful learners and to maximise their opportunities in their taught programme.